We help the world's leading NGOs, nonprofits, foundations, and social businesses blog better, tweet better, use Facebook more effectively in pursuit of making the world a better place, which, let me tell you, is a full-time job. One thing I've learned from my work, saving the world, on a daily basis is that the internet is made up by people, for people, and about people. Those people are now more powerful than ever before in human history. And if you, in this room, want to be powerful or remain powerful, you will treat those people like people and not like anything else. What do I mean about these people? I recently had the honor of meeting Doc Searles, who wrote the Clue Train Manifesto. Who here read the Clue Train Manifesto 12 years ago? That's great, a few of you. I would highly recommend reading it, even though it was published 12 years ago, because it was a very future-forward book. I know it inspired, in some ways, the career that I have today. The book predicted the connected world that we're living in right now, and it also predicted the growing power of individuals. And here are two quotes from that book. "Markets are conversations," said Doc Searles, meaning conversations between people. And also, "We are not seats or eyeballs or end users or consumers. We are human beings, and our reach exceeds your grasp. Deal with it," said Chris Locke. So what do they mean by that? What are some tangible examples? Well, everything you see on the internet is created by a person. Each mouse click, every status update, each tweet or photo was created by a person. Kevin Slavin is going to speak a little bit later about algorithms online and how some of those have gotten out of control. Yet even those algorithms were originally designed by people, some say badly. Yet today, the language that we use to talk about online activity includes words like cultivating growth, consumer acquisition, or retention, and so on. And this is the same language that we use for growing crops or livestock. Even the word branding comes from cattle ranching. So when we talk about protecting the brand or increasing brand recognition, what are we really saying, and how are we really treating the people whom we want to respect that brand? So let's continue with the agricultural metaphor. This is the Twitter page of Monsanto. Monsanto is one of the largest agricultural companies in the world, and they've got a pretty respectable Twitter following. They have about 11,000 people following them right now, and they work really hard. And that's in part because there are farmers like Mike Haley. He has 50% more Twitter followers, and he's just an ordinary guy, an ordinary farmer that maybe 10 years ago no one would ever know his name outside of his small town in Ohio. But today he's an organizer of other farmers and is one of the people pushing back hard on Monsanto. There's also people like Ree Drummond. Ree Drummond is also known as the Pioneer Woman online, and she's a cattle rancher in the Midwest. She has 250,000 followers on Twitter. She's one of the most popular mother bloggers, or mom bloggers, as we call them in the States, and she reaches millions of people every day. She influences what women around the US think, do, and buy. And in fact, surveys have shown that 60% of women say that they have been influenced to buy or not buy something because of something that they saw on a blog. It's not just farmers who are now more powerful online. This is a group of green moms. They are, quote unquote, consumers who are concerned about what people like this are eating. 90% of moms are online in the United States, which is much higher than the national average. And it's caught the full attention of marketers. Since women buy 70% of everything in the United States, I'm sure here in France you already know the power of la femme. However, in the United States, the rising influence of women connected to each other and how that's changing buying patterns has really influenced the national marketplace. So the question is, are you talking to this person's mother like she's a human being or like she's a piece of corn that that kid is eating. So in my work, my job is to help clients discover new sources of power out there so that their causes can have greater impact much faster. We've been working with them for several years now, and one of our early campaigns helped them grow from 140,000 members in their email database to 1.4 million members in 2 weeks. How did we do that? We helped them create a customized video that allowed people, friends and loved ones, to create videos for their mothers. The video not only celebrated moms, but it also acknowledged the difficulty that moms often have in the United States. Moms Rising also now has 500 bloggers on their site. It's not just organizational leaders who work with Moms Rising, but also women from around the nation who have found their voice and who touch other women deeply. Here's another campaign that we recently did, which was a mashup with a Google map and a Twitter application for the One campaign. The One campaign was founded by Bono of U2, the rock band. So One campaign came to us and said, we really want to push the White House to actually fund this vaccine program that would help 4 million kids over 3 years receive pneumonia and diarrhea vaccines at a pretty low cost, $450 million. So we created this Twitter app to encourage people to tweet the White House. The White House is very sensitive to their public reputation. After about 2,500 tweets, One campaign came back to us and said, well, the White House is on the fence. They seem to be wavering. What else can we do to push them harder? So we said, let's look up your top followers on Twitter, the people who are following you, who have a lot of people, and in some cases more people following them. You can send them a private direct message and ask for their help. All of these individuals, not just movie stars, but just ordinary people. We did that. It pushed the number of tweets to 3,500. And you can see we did the map to show the White House that it wasn't just the East Coast and the West Coast that was concerned about this issue, but people from across the nation, and ultimately they decided to fund the vaccine. Finally, this is one more campaign that we recently did. This is a friend of mine, Jose Antonio Vargas. Jose is one of the most famous journalists in the United States. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner, but he had a deep, dark secret, and that was that he had come to the United States illegally as a young boy and had hid this secret for many years. We created a very simple site and helped to produce a video that tells his compelling story in a very human way, person to person. We knew it would be a big story, but when the story came out, pushing it out through the New York Times Magazine, old media, but also through Twitter, through blogs, through Facebook, that week it became the most shared story on the internet. Not the internet just in the United States, the entire internet. And that was because it was the power of one man telling his story in a way that deeply touched other people around the world. So the question I have for you in this room: do you engage your audience as if you are a puppeteer? Or do you engage them as if you are a leader of powerful men and women? Which inspires you more, to be the shepherd of sheep or to be the captain of a football team with amazing players that together contribute to a great victory? Because otherwise, you're likely to be seen like that guy. You don't want to be that guy, right? Somebody who's missing the goal because your team members weren't there or didn't care. In the United States, we talk about the Tea Party on the right, or now the Occupy Wall Street movement on the left, as leaderless movements. But in fact, I would posit to you that they are not leaderless. Each member of that movement sees themselves as a contributing leader. And you see that up there, beyond influence. Everyone in this room can go beyond influence and inspire other leaders of leaders. Together, we can create the future. Together, we can collaborate to build a brave new world, but it will take leaders like you here in this room to make that bright future happen. Thank you very much. I'm Cheryl Contee.